Lunchtime. You're the reason that our Earth is burning, and I hope you're okay with murdering our next generation. Hi friends, it's Sarah back again with another video about how to navigate talking about our climate crisis. From the looks of it, that Sarah is not up to date with her climate communication skills, so let's revamp those strategies and talk about how we should talk about all of this. And while I'm not an expert in this field, I have a lot of genuine first-hand experience, as I have a lot of climate change skeptics and deniers in my life, and people who just don't care enough about climate change yet. Why does this matter? Well, research coming from Yale shows that talking about climate change with friends and family creates a positive feedback loop, meaning that more discussions lead to more discussions that lead to more discussions. They also found that discussions with others in one's close social network appears to be an important route by which people learn key facts about an issue, such as the scientific consensus. So, conversations, the two-way exchange where new ideas are shared. So first and foremost, this should be a conversation, meaning you should engage and listen to the person you're talking to. So let's give some key strategies for doing so. First, know who you're talking to. Hopefully it's friends or family that you're hoping to talk to and not just strangers on the street, because this video is not for that. These are people that you already know, you already have the background of their values and their hobbies and their interests, and so you should be able to frame things in ways that they'll understand and in things that they actually care about. Second, don't just hit them with a "hi, we need to talk climate" kind of thing, especially if you've never talked about it before, because climate change is a really hard topic to discuss, because at its centrality, it's about death, racism, and justice. These are things that people don't usually like talking about in their free time. Make sure people are in the right headspace before you just jump into conversations with nihilistic tendencies, even if it's going on in your head. And always consider jazzing stuff up with some dark humor, but on this one, you have to know your audience first. And third, use mainstream examples or current events to start the conversation. So my little sister is a typical teenage gal who really just cares about her friends and loves listening to new music. So I've always struggled talking about climate change with her because it's just not an issue that's on her radar, and she doesn't really understand why she should care about it yet. So one of the more successful ways I had in bringing up the topic was when Lil Dicky's Earth music video came out, because it's fun, it's relatable, and at its core, it's about climate change. So we were able to facilitate a discussion around a piece that was about fun and something that she already cared about. But sadly, we are not fortunate to have these beautiful climate change music videos every week, except did you see Billie Eilish's new video? Because that is a great example of, if someone you know cares about her, you could bring up that example for going forward with this. But in lieu of those climate musical masterpieces, try to have some positive climate change news and justice information in your back pocket. And that's something I'm definitely trying to work more on as well. So, for example, you could talk about Greta Thunberg and how you could say, "Oh, have you heard of Greta? She just went across the ocean in 15 days on a zero emissions boat. How cool is that? Like, have you heard about her, and have you heard about her movement?" Because that's something that's positive and really cool to talk about, especially if you're talking to someone younger who could see Greta as an example, as something that they could do as well. Maybe not go across the ocean in a boat. I don't think the typical 16-year-old wants to do that, but you get the idea. Every conversation is going to be different depending on who you're talking to. So following a script on this is definitely not the way to go. So let's just learn some general rules of thumbs to employ when you're talking and you're in the conversation. First, make sure you're always asking them their thoughts. This is a conversation between you and someone else, and to really know someone's baseline knowledge of climate change is a great place to start. You should always let them lead the conversation and listen. Second, center the discussion around people. The closer you can get the effects of climate change to the person you're talking to, the better. Leading with stats and data isn't always the best route here. How will climate change affect people? How will it affect you and me? As a Californian, I can talk to other Californians about the intense wildfires and the prolonged droughts and how that will affect how we live. If you can, tell an anecdote or relay someone's story that you've heard that you know of. Third, frame climate action in no regrets solution. Who doesn't want to make their life better? Emphasizing the quality of life we all could lead if climate action is taken? Sign me up. When discussing our climate crisis with those who are non-activists or non-involved, we really shouldn't be starting with the ultimatum of climate chaos, which is, if we don't act now, everything is effed. Even though that's very true and it's what's getting repeated over and over in your head, but if someone isn't always constantly thinking about all of this, it's nice to start at least with some hope. Talk about the clean air we could breathe, the beauty of beaches without rising sea levels, and the forest of trees will replenish. Talk about walkable cities, green careers, and fresh, healthy local food. The closer you can get the benefits of climate action to something that the person you're talking to cares about, the better. Also, I'll drop an NPR article about what a 2050 world with climate justice could look like to give you some ideas and inspiration. Fourth, talk about your feelings. In this line of work, there's a lot of emotions that kind of are always at the forefront, including fear, nostalgia, excitement sometimes, confusion. My usual state is anger. Even though I hope I don't come across as angry in these videos, every once in a while it's okay, but it shouldn't be like in your face kind of thing. Anger is so powerful, and don't take my word for it. Go read an article by Mary Annalise Hegler, who I actually saw speak at a conference, and how she talks about anger is such a powerful thing in the climate justice movement. How does the person you're talking to feel about climate change? What are their gut reactions when you tell them either about the consequences or the solutions? I personally think that some people just choose to avoid the topic altogether because it's too emotionally draining, and if you actually learned about what was going on, it's really hard not to live in this constant state of like eco-anxiety. So is the person you're talking to just ambivalent about climate change because they don't want to emotionally deal with it? Final thoughts. Active climate change deniers are very, very hard to talk to, like Tom of my House of Representatives. Hi, hey, how are you, Tom? Who actively pushes climate change policy that furthers our climate crisis. Talking to people like this is emotionally draining, and hot take, it's often not worth it because you're not going to change their mind. So if you want to see a video about how to talk to deniers and skeptics, especially if people in your life are those deniers and skeptics, let me know and I'll try to create something. This is a crazy broad topic, and do not think that this is the exhaustive guide to talking about climate change. It really is just having those conversations and learning what works and what doesn't work with certain groups of people. I'm hoping to delve more into the research and get back to you on how we can address certain groups of people and how our messaging should change and evolve when we're talking about these issues, whether it be to a general public or to the people that we love and care about. I would love to hear about your experiences and stumbling blocks in talking about climate change, so make sure to leave those in the comments below, and maybe we can have a little video where I help you through navigating the topic with the people that you care about. So that's all for this one, friends, and make sure to subscribe to this channel. And I also create a newsletter every month that talks about more the action steps that you can take from these videos, so be sure to subscribe to that as well. And thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you in the next one.